Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Indieheads podcast. I'm your host, Matty, a.k.a. at Monrovian Prince on Twitter, a.k.a. ReconAG. On this week's podcast, we have...
Hey, it's the kid, AJ Moser at AnMoser on Twitter.com.
It's William for Thrill here, talking to you about music.
And, okay, I don't want to say this because I know this is gonna knock something off on our Indieheads bingo board. But for the viewers who have their boards out and ready to go, let me give you another one. So this is our first podcast in about a month. We've all been very busy boys. We're all in school.
Have we really been that busy though?
I don't know if we've been busy.
It's like finals week, right?
AJ has been busy. He's in Brooklyn. Moved.
Yeah, I moved in the past time we recorded an episode.
Oh, yeah, no, he's with Brooklyn boys. I mean, I've been a little busy. I mean, I started my internship, and I got, school stuff.
AJ,
I think it's...
do you have any Tims yet?
Yeah, I've got 6 pairs of Tims. Someone comes and knocks on your door the first day you wake up here, and they're like, welcome, have some Tims.
What other New York stereotype?
The pizza? Let me tell you a little story about what happened to me the other day.
One bite, everybody knows the rules.
Right, but no. I was actually hanging out with Ethan, and I was going home. Friend of the podcast, Ethan. I say
member of the podcast.
Member of the podcast. He's still a friend of the podcast, though, too.
This is true.
I was hanging out with him, and then I was going home, and I was going to take the subway home, and it was about 20 minutes. And I was like, I'm kind of hungry. I don't want to starve on the subway, so I'm going to go run to this pizza shop and get a slice of pizza. So I walk in and get my slice of pizza. I'm standing outside eating my slice. Picture,
How was the flop?
It was fantastic. It was so good. Picture the scene from Louis, the opening credits where he's standing outside the pizza restaurant. That was me, basically. So I went, I got on my train, got home. I walk up the stairs from the train station. There's another pizza place. And I go, you know what? I'm kind of hungry again. So I walk into that pizza place, get another piece of pizza, come on out and eat it, and then I go home. So it's like the get some pizza, get on the train, get some more pizza. It's a classic New York thing.
Nice. I think just being in the podcast. Sorry to just go straight on to the next thing. But we've all been busy, but also we've been kind of uninspired because the beginning of the month there's a lot of albums that came out, and then there's nothing.
I've been uninspired since Lauryn Hill retired.
Me too. Same.
Jesus Christ. But yeah, besides Kendrick.
Also, there's that whole healthcare thing.
Oh, yeah,
that had nothing to do with that. It
felt relative putting that out there, man.
What are those clowns in Washington up to?
I mean, yeah, I've made a goal of the podcast, an unknowing goal. I think I mentioned this once on Twitter, that I want the Indieheads podcast to be the Chapo Trap House of indie music podcast. There's not that many of us, so I think it's going to be a very easily attainable goal.
Which one of us is going to vote for Drill for Album of the Year?
I'm trying to remember which member did that. I'm trying to.
I don't know because I don't listen. I just heard that and I'm like, yeah, that made me tune out. I'm like, that's not a joke.
Yeah, I think it was the guy who doesn't live in New York because I think 2 of them live in New York City and one guy lives out somewhere else.
I think he lives in Ohio and he voted for Drill. It's like, what the fuck are you doing, man?
Oh yeah, in a swing state. Thanks, man. Anyways, okay, first podcast in a month. We have a lot to catch up on because. There was things that happened basically in the past week or two. We've just been given an onslaught of singles, and then
remember May last year. May last year was also crazy.
Mm-hmm. I feel like still the craziest month of music that I've ever been through is still March 2015.
Oh, absolutely. But I was sitting and remembering that because today was my college graduation. All my friends were graduating, and I was I graduated a year ago, and that's when A Moon-Shaped Pool came out. I remember because I was in my graduation listening to A Moon-Shaped Pool, and then it was damn, that was a crazy week because that was also James Blake and the new Death Grips album, which we all know how that turned out.
I was listening to that right before this podcast.
That album sucks, dude. And
it's pretty good.
Here's the thing, Bob Spin, it's fine, but the fact that I'm just calling a Death Grips album fine, that's not a good thing. It's just they've set they set themselves up with every single album of hey, this is going to be essentially a game changer, really changing up our sound, doing something different. Bottomless Pit, it's just them kind of like, let's just make kind of like a fun album, which is fine, but at the same time, it goes against their ethos.
I've never once had a single album kill my entire interest in a band before, and that's what Bottomless Pit did for me for Death Grips. Like, I retroactively do not like Death Grips because of Bottomless Pit.
Mm-hmm. It's not that. Let's not get into it.
But the James Blake album, though, it's a classic. Anyways, let's get into the news.
Hey, speaking of things I don't like, let's talk about 13 Reasons Why on Netflix.
So, if you're wondering why we're talking about a TV show on a music podcast,
we're
recently,
Pitchfork now.
Yes, very recently, someone who was on the soundtrack and a podcast favorite, Car Seat Headrest, he came out on Twitter and criticized the show for glorifying suicide in a series of tweets. And I'm just going to read them, the tweets as quoted. As someone who contributed to the soundtrack for 13 Reasons Why, I'm obliged to tell you that it's all kind of fucked. Writers, please don't tell kids how to turn their miserable and hopeless lives into a thrilling and cathartic suicide mission. Kids, this is not a narrative you need to subscribe to. Go watch Spring Breakers instead. So number one, we know that Will Toledo is a fan of Harmony Korine, so that's pretty lit. And also,
what song was it, if you don't mind me asking?
I think it was an older one. Like, I think it was something from, like, maybe from Teens of Style. I'm gonna look real quick. But yeah, it wasn't something on Teens of Denial. I know that. Give me a second to figure out what song. I'm gonna Google it real quick. But in the meantime, also someone else came out. Like, here's the thing. So Will Toledo comes out against 13 Reasons Why, and then our favorite bitter, not really that old, bearded man, Patrick Stickles from Titus Andronicus, came out against Will Toledo on Twitter, saying that
literally the Lord of Indie Beef, Titus Andronicus.
Pretty much, he came out against Will and was like, "Hey, the money you got from that, where is it? You gonna put it to charity, give it back to him? What you gonna do, man?" And then Will Toledo was like, "I spent the money on hard drugs. Thank you." And so
yeah, I gotta say, I haven't watched the show, but I'm on Patrick's side on this one.
I side with Sticks on this one.
Yeah, I got
like you can't. I mean, like, I haven't seen the show, so I can't like say definitively whether or not it's a good depiction of suicide or whatever. But like, you took the money, and then now you're just gonna talk shit about him because it's the popular thing to do.
Yeah, I gotta agree with the Sticks on this one.
What was his beef with Kendrick? Like something about shoes?
Yeah,
right?
Yeah. He like. I just remember it was 2015 when he was untouchable, so like people were like, "We're boycotting Titus Andronicus."
Yeah.
I was like, okay.
And then it got the 8.1 no best new music.
Dude, oh god. That was one of my favorite memes, honestly, of 2015, was like Mew hyping up the most lamentable tragedy. It's like 9.7, 9.7, 9.7. It's going to be dimed out.
9.7. That's like that meme of like Patrick in the music video, and he's like waking up and he sees the 9.7 on the ceiling. That was a great meme.
And then 8.1 because he came out against Kendrick. He fucked up. He fucked up. And by the way, the song is "Oh Starving." By the way, the Car Seat Headrest song.
Oh, okay.
That was on the soundtrack. But yeah, I've not watched the series. I literally have. I have no. Here's the thing. What this series reminds me of from just like seeing like parts of episodes. Like I think my sister was watching it on Netflix the other day. I was like, oh, this just looks like Degrassi or some shit. Except it's like.
Oh, so that's why Jeremiah loved it.
Ooh. So yeah, Jeremiah was like talking about the show like the week.
He's upset. He's in love.
Which is a little surprising, I guess, but not really because Jeremiah also loves Gossip Girl. So I feel like it was.
He's a teen grill.
He is. Jeremiah is the closest we get. I mean, we have Lizzie, but like Jeremiah is more of a teen girl than Lizzie is. All right, because Lizzie likes death grips, and that's a really manly thing to do. So.
Masculinity.
Mm-hmm.
And Jeremiah doesn't.
No, Jeremiah notoriously hates death grips, and I don't blame him for it.
That means he's actually a girl.
Man, true.
I think we figured it out.
I'm digging my hole real deep here.
Problematic.
Yeah, I've had some Twitter spats this week about that, and it's not fun. Don't want to revisit it. Anyways, but yeah, I feel like at the same time to play devil's advocate for Will Toledo. I know how hard it is out here for an indie band. And I know, yeah, sometimes you gotta do some shit to take. You gotta take the money. And also, I don't think he realized like what the show is about. Whenever he probably like contributed a song to the soundtrack, it was just like, hey, Netflix is doing the show. We want to use your song. Can we use it? Yeah, I need the money. And of course, when the show came out and people figured out like what it was about, it was like, oh, like, yeah, the show's kind of fucked. So that it's more of just like for Will, just kind of like willful ignorance. I can maybe give him that, but at the same time, it's like, like this doesn't make me hate Will Toledo at all. It's like,
I don't hate him for it. I just think that like it's kind of hypocritical. It's like, just chill out, bro.
Yeah. Will Toledo, retire, bitch. That's the that's all we gotta say. Actually, no. Please continue making music. All right, I need.
No, yeah, he still has to make the next funeral.
This is well. I mean, he's already. Well, he did make the next funeral. He made it in 2011, and it was called Twin Fantasy. So,
boy,
eat it, bitch. Anyways, let's see. Let's get to the. Hang on a second. Okay, someone want to talk about the next news item real quick. So, talk about this this Radiohead shit. AJ, Will, when you guys want to take this one?
They're back. The boys. Radiohead is back with a brand new album called Not Okay, or Okay Not Okay, except it's not a new album. It's just OK Computer again with some new songs on it, including Lift, which is a big fucking deal. Radiohead is finally inching towards their eventual inevitable retirement by releasing all of their fan favorite songs with studio quality recordings. We got True Love Waits last year. We're getting Lift this year, and Tom York, Retire Bitch is all I really have to say at this point. No, it's cool. We were talking about OK Computer.
Sorry, yeah,
earlier,
my friend came in.
It's not like there are a few albums that I think are more overrated than OK Computer, but also, its importance cannot be understated, and it is such a good album. It's a fantastic album.
That's basically it's a great rock album, just not the best of all time, or even close.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
I gotta agree. I mean, I listened to it like last month. Like on the train to Chicago for my college's open house. It's like listening to okay, this is a good album.
Computer.
Jesus, oh my God. Well, this is our first podcast in a month, everybody. How you guys liking it so far? You enjoying it? I know I am.
Okay.
Anyways, yeah, I listened to it like a month ago. I'm like, this is a good album, but like, I don't know. It's just a good rock album, and that's kind of it for me. Like, I don't really have like a really personal connection with it. It's just sort of like, this is a good rock album, but like, yeah, I kind of have to agree with the sentiment that it's kind of overrated, and that other Radiohead albums are better. Much like my number one favorite Radiohead album, Amnesiac, which was very, very wrongfully hated on at the time for being just Kid B, when in reality it was while it shared similarities with Kid A, there's also a lot of differences, and it's more of a. I think they work together very well, but also they work very well separately too. So, and also I like some of the more. It's basically I like the more mix of guitar sounds and electronic sounds that they were doing in Amnesiac, where Kid A was. Amnesiac just seems like a much more. It hits that nice spot where Kid A is like kind of apocalyptic and like. The world is ending. The world is ending. There's a bit more of an acceptance on it on Amnesiac that I kind of like a bit more. But anyways, OK Computer, it's getting reissued. I don't really understand what the fuck is up with the obsession with Lift. I don't understand Radiohead lore. Like, we'll probably have to get like Jackson from the EDM on to talk about.
You gotta go back to a time when Radiohead was literally Creep the band, right? It's not like the Bends blew up or anything. Like, they were still fucking Creep. And they were touring with, I think it was Alanis Morissette. Mm-hmm. They were, like, opening for Alanis Morissette. That's the caliber of band they were, right? And they were, like, hyping up the release of their next album, OK Computer. And they were playing this song called Lift. And, like, every time they would play it, people would go fucking nuts. And, like, the press and, people who were, like, music critics at the time... It was like a different state of music journalism too, right? And Lift was supposed to be like their next big hit. Like, it was the one. It was Creep 2. And so they decided to not put it on OK Computer, because I think it was like Ed was talking about it. He said like if that song was on that album, we would have become too big. They would have become like a bona fide pop band. And like looking at the Radiohead trajectory we have now, it's a good thing they didn't do that, because they probably would have retired like after OK Computer. The pressure would have been way too much.
I can see. Okay, no, I understand. I can definitely see that. So lift CD quality, it's on the way. So coming up, we had some more news. I'm going to introduce a new segment to the podcast. It's a one-time only segment for the time being. It is the Sufjan Stevens presents the Suf Jam News Bonanza Extraordinaire with special guest. There's a lot of Sufjan news that came out in the past week or two. Number one, Carrying Lowell got a live album and a live movie too. I have not watched it yet, but I heard it's good. He put Hotline Bling on there, so I gotta appreciate him for that. He announced a new mixtape called The Greatest Gift Mixtape. It's outtakes, remixes, and demos from Carrying Lowell. Comes out in October. And then, I'm not going to talk about the third thing yet, because that's going to introduce our next segment. But I feel like, yeah, Sufjan Stevens. Sufjan Stevens, yeah. Sufjan Stevens. We're ripping off someone on Twitter because someone on our one of our fans of the podcast, he sent me a SoundCloud link to his podcast, and it's just 10 minutes of him saying Sufjan Stevens. And so, shouts out to Gavin. Let me find his.
Shouts out. He's my boy, Gavin 490.
Oh, nice. Thank you, Will.
There's an Open Mike Eagle song where he says Sufjan Stevens on it. Just wanted to throw that out there.
Wait, really? Hold on. I gotta Google this. I need to verify this claim.
I think
there's also a Childish Gambino song where he talks about Sufjan, I believe.
I don't care to look. I don't care to find out about that one. Oh yeah, yep. It's on the a special episode of EP Split Pants in Detroit. I can listen to Neil Young and Sufjan Stevens. This is the Age of Odds, Eternal Living. Hey, that's a nice bar. That's a sweet.
He says
bar.
it like cool. He says like Sufjan Stevens is pretty neat.
Yeah, I only put this on here because I just need this news item to introduce or reintroduce an old segment.
Here's what he says. He says the only black kid at a Sufjan concert.
Oh God.
That's literally a case of you versus the guy she told you not to worry about. With Childish Gambino and Open Mike Eagle there. Holy hell.
Jesus Christ. Anyways, I just want to have this segment on here to reintroduce reintroduce an old segment of the podcast we had back in actually funny I mentioned March 2015 because this is the last time this segment was on the podcast.
But it's the last time music was good.
Exactly. But music is good once again in the glorious month and year of May 2017. All right? Trump, that's the only good thing Trump has done so far is brought us back good music.
Punk music is back, damn.
Christ. Anyway, single alert, we're bringing that back. There's a lot of songs that came out because I didn't want to include all these as news items, and I think they're notable enough to talk about them as a whole. And also I've been watching Fantano's track reviews, and I really enjoy them. So I'm like, hey, let's do it ourselves, bitch. So our first song on the single alert list comes from Sufjan Stevens, Bryce Dessner, Nico Mulley, and James McAllister. You may recognize two of those names, and the other two you may not recognize. Cool.
Is Nico the Velvet Underground in Nico?
No, that girl, that bitch is dead.
Oh.
And I say bitch because she's a neo-Nazi, so I'm allowed to.
She
allowed
was?
to say it. She's really racist.
You know who else was a neo-Nazi?
Yeah, Nico is she was German, and she was born in
so
1938.
That doesn't mean she was racist.
But
yeah, I'm German, and I'm definitely not racist.
No, yeah, she was described
Oh, okay, I'm on the Wikipedia page. Nico was described by some of her friends and colleagues as racist. Yeah.
Yeah, what I tell you, she's a racist. Anyways, Nico Mulley, all these people, they're doing this album called Planetarium. They performed some series of concerts back in 2012. They made a bunch of songs about the solar system, and it's been rumored for years when this album was actually going to come out, but it's finally coming on June 9th. And they've released a couple songs for it. This is the second one, Mercury, and it's nice. I don't know. It's Sufjan.
It's boring.
It's a nice little piano ballad about this, about Mercury, and Sufjan sounds really beautiful, and it's like, it's good.
The thing is that I think since 2014, or even since like we've been promised the new National album, I think the members of the National have done like, probably no joke, a dozen side projects, like released albums under names other than the National. And at this point, I kind of just want that new National album. And it's supposed to come this year, and this one's a little bit like, just fucking do it already. Just fucking kill me.
I will tell you. Do it. I will tell you, they are working on it because I have an internship at a public radio station, and I can't talk about. I'll talk about this after. Like I'll talk about it after the podcast with you guys because I mentioned it in the chat. But the National album, it is happening this year. They are working on it. They really are working on it. So.
I mean, they've been saying that since like 2014. So I don't know,
but like, trust me, they are working on it. Like, it's gonna come this year. Trust me.
All right, you got that Arcade Fire scoop, bro?
No, I've not gotten that Arcade. I mean, I might in the future. I don't know, but basically, like my the person that like my supervisor at the public radio station, like he's like, yeah, it's happening. Like, just wait on it. I need you guys to come up with
more life on the way.
Yeah, more life on the way.
But it is happening. The song is fine. I'm interested to check out the album because it comes before like the giant like June 16th bonanza of like a shit ton of albums. But yeah.
The album is coming before then?
Before June 9th? The National album? No.
It's coming before June 16th?
No,
yeah.
Planetarium.
Yeah, Planetarium comes out.
Planetarium.
Planetarium comes out on June 9th. I know these things because I host a new music show, so I have to learn these things. All right, next on Single Alert, the next single up on up to bat, Rostam of formerly of Vampire Weekend. He is back. He's got a new single, new album on the way. No official news about it just yet, but it is coming this year. And this new single, we were talking about it a little bit before the podcast, and I don't want to shit on it because it's not a bad song, and I think it's actually pretty decent. It's just, yeah.
It sounds like a less good version of the song from their self-titled album.
Yeah.
Vampire Weekends.
That's pretty much
it's
it.
It's like, but without Ezra's vocals, and Ezra's a more interesting vocalist.
Yeah, pretty much the main issue. It's just like, compositionally, this is a really interesting song. The way he uses the string sections are really like...
Oh, yeah,
that's
cool.
The
orchestrations are great.
Yeah,
cool.
I really like this song, actually.
But
let's throw it out there.
But Rostam, he's just not a strong singer. Just like he's not making music that matches his voice because his voice could work. It's just like he's just not making music that fits it. It's like just listening to this, I just get the sinking feeling of just like, hey, Ezra would sound really nice over this.
What would suit his voice?
That's the thing I can't quite figure out. I think just something more low key, just something that's not as like. Just so expansive.
I just wish you were still in Vampire Weekend. If I am being honest with myself.
Yeah, I mean, I also agree that I think he should just still be in Vampire Weekend.
I mean, I think staying on is like
he's the reason Modern Vampires was a classic.
Yeah, like I definitely hear the Modern Vampires, like I don't want to say influence, right? But I hear the threads in this song, and I think he's a strong enough singer, but like Matty and I were talking about, it lacks like that oomph moment. The song doesn't really go anywhere, right? And like it's just pleasant for like 4 minutes and then sort of ends. Like we were talking about, it needs the Hannah Hunt moment where it kind of like blows up or something.
Exactly. Yeah, it just needs that explosiveness, and that it just lacks that moment. It's just like a really it's a really interesting like sort of like art pop song that just doesn't do anything. It just kind of lingers on for like 4 minutes, and it's nice. It's not a bad lingering. It's just like, but also at the same time, it's like they could really use that moment because it feels like it's coming, but it just never comes through.
Rostam, Batman, Gorillaz, retired bitch.
we got someone got mad at me on Twitter about like us making fun of his name and pronouncing it, which by the way we apologize. We don't mean to be offensive about that stuff. It's just we don't mean to be offensive.
We don't mean to be offensive about anything. We never want to be offensive.
Well, we have too much respect for women.
Will and I are like inherently problematic, pretty much. Like we are the most problematic members of the podcast by like a decent margin, I say. because like Will's from Texas and I grew up on rap forums, so you can't. Some of that stuff is just hard to shake. But
I went to college in Oklahoma.
See, there you go. But yeah, if you guys do have any problems, if we do say something that's offensive or something that's a little problematic, let us know. Like we actively want to not offend people and respect people of all creeds and colors and things of that sort. So hey, if we're being assholes, please let us know.
That being said, Rostam, Batman Glees, retire, bitch.
Batman Glees.
Or Rostam, Batman, rejoin Vampire Weekend, bitch.
There you go.
Okay, next single. Jeff Rosenstock, Will, AJ, our boy, Jeff Rosenstock. He is back with a new single. This seems like more of a one-off single. That the story behind it is pretty interesting. Basically, it was like, hey, I basically, like on tour, he set a challenge for himself to write songs on tour. And I think like most artists are like notorious for like not writing on tour because they're so focused on the live show that they cannot put they just can't get in the headspace to write while they're touring. But Jeff Rosenstock, he challenged himself like, hey, I'm gonna try to write some songs on tour. Well, the sad thing is, this was written whenever he got his gear stolen, so he lost a lot of the songs that he was trying to write at that time. But I think this one it somehow survived, and it's a nice little song. I think it's nice to hear new music from Jeff always.
I'm gonna throw something out there. Let me know what you guys think of this. Jeff Rosenstock, don't retire, bitch.
Yes, we need our balding, horrible mustache boy around to make. I mean, I think we might have talked about this on the podcast before, but I think was it Stephen Hyden who brought up this theory that like, with the election, there's always like an album that really.
That's Ian Cohen.
Oh, that was Cohen. Okay, basically like 2012, it was like Celebration Rock. 2008, it was. What was it? I know 2012 was Celebration Rock. 2008, it was.
I do not remember.
Okay, but then 2016 is like
that
Worry was the album that really like basically predicted like what was going to happen. Like Celebration Rock was like, yeah, we got Obama again, and then 2016 is like things are going to get really bad soon, guys. Like you don't even know. Like it's time to it's time to realize that
things are all gonna end.
I have a real hot take. Is that, I mean, getting your equipment stolen is bad, but it sounds like he said like he wanted to like write an album that on tour and just use the first 10 songs he wrote, and that be the album. So I think that those plans getting spiked might have been for the better, because this song is fine, but it's not a great Jeff Rosenstock song, and I think that just writing an album on tour and using the first 10 songs you write probably isn't the best tactic.
Yeah, I was also definitely worried when I saw that it shared the name of a Modest Mouse song, because that can never be a good thing.
Yeah, because it can never top that song, because it's one of Modest Mouse, one of the greatest band's best songs.
I mean, something like that.
The only person that can name their song after a Modest Mouse song and do it well is Will Toledo, with the ending of Dramamine.
That's about the drug, not the Modest Mouse song.
Shut up, AJ Moser, retire, bitch. Don't ruin my jokes.
Modest Mouse is extremely good, and if you don't like them, that's your shortcoming.
And speaking of bands with animals in their name, Grizzly Bear, they are back. There we go. See, that was a good segue. See, mark off the bad segue on your Indieheads bingo chart right now.
I think we've almost got one.
That was a good segue. So.
That was a pretty good. That was a segue for sure.
Okay, Grizzly Bear, they are back. A new single. I think their first new music in like 4 years. I want to say.
A long time.
It's been a bit. They're back with a new single. They teased it on Instagram for fucking ever. With like they posted like 13.
11.
Was it 11? They posted 11. No, I think we were like so for new listeners, I'm a mod on r/Indieheads, and
cool.
If that wasn't obvious enough, we had we realized the rule now is 5 snippets or you're gone, because there was like 13 snippets I think until they actually released the song, And then, like, Grizzly Bear, they actually had a comment on it, like, we weren't trying to torture you guys, it's just, like, I think it's really interesting, just to hear the little bits of songs we do, because our songs, there's so much to them. And it's like, bitch, 5 teasers or less, that's all you need. You don't need 13 goddamn teasers and then stringing it out for, like, 2 weeks. It's just, release a song or don't, bitch. Like, but anyways, I did listen to this song. Maybe, like...
That's good.
It's a good song. It's a very good song. I gotta give it more listens, but my experience listening to Grizzly Bear is very limited. The only thing by them that I've listened to, like, in any extensive manner, has been 2 weeks, because it's a great song, and I haven't really cared to check out their albums. I don't know why. It's just been like, I just want to enjoy 2 weeks, and that's it. I don't know.
Yeah, I think Grizzly Bear is one of the best song bands in the indie sphere. But maybe not necessarily like an album band, if that makes sense, sort of.
Ooh, that's a take. You're gonna get some shit for that, AJ.
Good.
I don't really think that's too absurd a take. Like, it's. I think like all of the songs on their albums are good, but like the albums as a whole is just like, yeah, like it's a bunch of great songs, but it's not really It's got that oomph to it.
All right, you are safe from the Twitter. You're safe from the Twitter Indiehead spear. But yeah, this is
Look,
nice.
Come at me with the dicks out. I can take it.
And this is a nice little. It's a nice little single. I'll give it some more listens, in the coming weeks. But there's a lot, and actually, it's funny that the single after this one. This is the bad segue. You can mark this off. So Edge Roste. He's been in a couple indie beefs over the years. One of the most notable recently has been with HAIM, who he used to be very good friends with, but now they hate each other because of Taylor Swift.
And HAIM wants him back.
There we go. Now they can mark off the bad segue. HAIM, they finally released some new music. They had this like teaser video that was directed by Paul Thomas Anderson that was like them like live recording a song. It sounded weird, and I turned it off after like 30 seconds. I'm like, this just sounds weird. I'll wait for the actual version to come out. But they didn't release...
It's not the same song though.
It's not the same song, so I'll wait for it to come out. But they released a different song, a normal song. It's called "Want You Back," and it is fucking terrible. It is
no.
It is fucking terrible.
No.
Yeah, AJ, I'll let you make your case first.
Okay, my case is this: the first HAIM album is really, really, really good, and both of these songs are fantastic. That's my take.
My take is that this sounds like something that Rachel Platten would make. Remember Rachel Platten, the girl who made Fight Song? Listen to this and then listen to Fight Song.
Let me tell you what.
Hey, Matty, counterpoint. If it's good enough for Hillary Clinton, it's good enough for me.
So not the country of the United States of America. I thought that
I thought this was America.
Song, I thought that Fight Song was Katy Perry for like the longest time.
You're probably thinking of Roar.
No, I don't ever think of that song.
I don't ever think of you.
But yeah, this Want You Back. It just sounds like basically like I'm not listening to what they're saying. Like my brain is just like hashtag resistance, white feminism. That's just when I listen to a song. That's what my brain is telling me. It's just.
Oh, so you're saying white people aren't allowed to be feminists?
Yeah, look, I think the big thing we're overlooking here is that Matty hates women.
Yeah,
hey,
that's fine.
That
fine.
That is
Matty,
rude.
Everyone has their prejudices.
No, that is rude. All right, I respect women more than any. All right, I have the most respect for women. All right, I am the most respectful of women in America, in the world. All right, I am the most respectful. Do not dare slander my name, throw my name in the dirt. All right, I want my credibility back. All right. Which, and HAIM needs their credibility back too, because this song sucks. I don't know. But in serious note, I just like, their voices sound really weird. Just something about her voice is just like, no. My brain's just telling me no. Like, I don't want to listen to this. It's just kind of corny. I don't know. Like, I kind of see why, like, I keep getting reports Like, because their songs will be posted, and like every single time they'll be like one person will report it being like, "This is not indie," and it's like, yeah, I get you, man, I get you. I don't know, I just wasn't that into this. Is there an album better than this song at least? Because I never got a chance to listen to that.
Yeah, the album's fantastic, my dude.
All right. But speaking of things that are actually good, The War on Drugs, they are back. First new song in 3 years. It is an 11-minute Americana Bruce Springsteen epic.
Bruce Springsteen, retire, bitch.
No, never, ever.
Yeah, no. We still need the Bruce Springsteen. Wait, is he like making a chamber pop album or like a?
Yeah, he's doing a chamber pop.
That was
album
the word on the street.
That was straight from the boss's mouth.
We literally talked about that last year at Pitchfork. Like the Bruce Springsteen chamber pop album, it's gonna happen. We've got no news about it yet. He's just been like, dude. Well, he had the River, I think, like the reissue.
Yeah,
that came out,
he put out a fucking 4-disc album and then a book with like a greatest hits compilation. Like, look, no one can rush the boss. We're gonna get this album probably this year, and it's gonna be fantastic.
Can't toss the boss.
You cannot toss the boss.
Anyways, War on Drugs, new single. I really dig this.
The song is good as fuck.
I never really gave their album a chance back when it came out. I don't know, just like at the time, just like here's the thing, like in 2014, like I was really into Swans and shit, so I wasn't really like ready for.
I like that hardcore shit.
So yeah, I just War on Drugs, it wasn't the mood, but now I'm a much more mature Matty. I've opened up my ears to a lot more genres of music, and I think I'm ready to give War on Drugs a chance.
He enjoys sitting on a porch every once in a while.
Now Matty listens to everything except for rap and country.
Yeah.
You're not exactly wrong. I definitely don't listen to as much rap music in 2017 that I did listen to in like 2013.
I think I've almost fully stopped listening to rap music, which is odd.
Crap music.
I mean, like, is it just me, or have there not been any good rap albums this year?
I just think my taste. I just think because I've just gotten more into indie music, my tastes have changed. And it's just like, and certain like what I listened. Here's the thing: in 2013, I was like really into Young Lean. 2017,
dude, Young Lean's the shit.
Looks back on me as like, dude, like, he had some good shit, but like now it's like, I mean, he did a song with Dean Blunt, so hey, I got respect for Young Lean. So. But yeah, just my taste has changed, and just I think there's a lot of interesting rap out there. It's just like I'm just like choosing not to listen to it. Like I still haven't listened to the Joey Bass album, and that was apparently pretty good.
That wasn't an interesting rap album, I don't think.
But
Wale's new album and Logic's new album.
Jesus Christ,
guys.
Okay, we were talking. Actually, this does. Hey, they do have a connection, a very
Jesus
not good connection. Oh my
fucking
God.
Christ!
I'm gonna cut that bit. I'm gonna cut that. I'm gonna cut that. I'm gonna cut that. That's getting cut. Hang on,
This is without a doubt the most problematic episode of all time.
I'm writing down the timestamp to make sure I.
Indieheads, go on, come town.
Just like bleep the whole thing and keep me just going. Jesus fucking Christ!
Okay, yeah, I'll bleep it. Anyways, okay, War on Drugs, new single. It's good. It's really nice and expansive, and the
new album on the way.
It's
I'm excited for it.
The thing is though that like looking at it, it's like holy shit, this song's 11 and a half minutes, and then you listen to it and you're like, yo, this is like righteous. This is a good 11 and a half minutes. I'm into it. The song like evolves. It's got layers, my dude.
It got layers.
It does.
It's like onions.
Yeah, the synth,
the song, layers.
The little synths sound really nice, and the guitars are just like really nice and relaxing, and just.
Okay, wait, hold up a sec.
What?
The War on Drugs are literally if an onion was musical, because it's got layers and it makes me cry.
Well, maybe not relaxing, but more of just like it's at peace, pretty much, I guess, if that makes any sense. It's more of just it has its own vibe, and it's just sitting out on the port. It's,
#vibes.
It's that music you listen to, and it's like when you crack open a cold one in front of your boys. You gotta be listening to the War on Drugs.
The thing about the War on Drugs is that they're like a huge contradiction, because it definitely sounds like music that people who voted for Donald Trump would listen to, but I also can't imagine anyone who voted for Donald Trump enjoying the War on Drugs. Does that make sense?
Yeah. That was pretty much like the comparisons he got, like whenever Lost in the Dream came out. It was like, oh, this is like really old style rock, but like as far as I know, there's not really that many. They don't really have a strong dad fan base as far as I know. Maybe they do.
Outside of like Steven Hyden.
Pretty much.
Adam Grandis, looks like Jimmy Fallon wearing a wig. He looks like Jimmy Fallon playing Neil Young.
Yeah.
Oh god.
That's like literally who it is, basically.
Oh god, I see it. Oh god. Jesus Christ, Will.
I knew that because I saw that. Like I watched like one time they played on Jimmy Fallon.
Oh god.
And so there's like Adam standing next to Jimmy. It's like, oh my god.
Oh boy. All right, let's move on. Let's move on to the next single. Phoenix.
It's like the time I saw
most...
Kurt Vile at the airport.
Yeah, who'd have thought our most problematic segment would be about the war on drugs?
Well,
hey, we will not discuss this any further. Next single, Phoenix, J-Boy, Phoenix. They're back after 4 years. They got a nice little single. It's really nice and dancey. What do you guys think of it? You guys listen to Phoenix?
I listened to it once in passing and didn't like it.
I literally did not know this came out and haven't listened to it.
The first time I listened to it, I was like, oh, I'm not really sure if I dig this. But, like, on repeated listens, it's like, oh, this is just, like, a really nice, like, kind of, like, dancey song. His vocals kind of sound a little bit like of Montreal. Like, I kind of get that vibe. But it's really good, nice. I just want to give it a quick little mention. Phoenix are back. 'Cause I know they're back, and they're making good music. I haven't listened to any of their albums, but, like, also probably, like, Jeremiah would probably want me to mention Phoenix. So, yeah. And another single I want to give a quick shout out to, Palm. So on Indieheads.
Yo.
So yeah,
this is tight.
So someone on Indieheads.
This song is incredibly good.
Yeah, they made a post about this band Palm, and it did numbers. It was like 400 plus points. It was like, oh damn, like people must be really into this band. So gave the single a listen. Watched their audio tree performance. Damn, this band is fucking good.
They look like your typical DIY band, and then they're like playing this really complicated math noise rock, and it's awesome.
Yeah, this is
it's sort of like I could see them becoming the new Pine Grove, where it's like just looking at them, it's like I can't imagine how this looking band would make anything that sounds new or exciting, but then they just like fucking do it. You know what I mean?
This is way more. I mean, like not that. I mean, I love Pine Grove, but like this is way more unique.
Yeah, this is. Yeah, they are. I mean, these guys, they're doing something that's like, they're doing something really interesting that like we need to be looking out for. They have. You
could say they're doing the damn thing.
Exactly. I really hope these guys don't retire, bitch. But yeah, they have an EP coming out on Car Park on like June 16th. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be great. I'm excited for it. So yeah, I want to give a shout out, Palm Walkie Talkie. This is some really good mathy art rock that just has some really interesting guitars, and the vocals are, kind of, I don't know what the vocals remind me of a little bit. I know some of the vocals on their first album were kind of like A.V. Terror-esque, the male vocals at least, but on here it's a bit more. It really reminds me of something. I can't quite put my finger on it, but yeah,
sounds good.
It's good. Give this a listen, seriously. And our next single, AJ, this one's yours.
All right. Let's sit down for a sec. Everyone, make sure we're seated. The world of music was fundamentally changed. Okay, so I'm just gonna go ahead and throw out a timeline. Like 1900, music starts. There's all of the phases, like classical and jazz and all, like rock and roll and whatever. But 2016 I think was the most landmark year for music since 1900, because it marked the release of the Paramount album from indie rock band Japanese Breakfast called Psychopomp. Obviously the best album of the year. It was the first time that every single person on the planet agreed on a consensus best album of the year, which was Psychopomp. And then, the turnaround was going to be quick because, those songs had been around for a while. We were promised, like 2017, Japanese Breakfast is making waves. We're here to stay. If you saw her perform live anytime in the past year, you'd have heard this single, which we now have a music video and studio quality for, Machinist, from her new album, Soft Sounds from Another Planet, coming out July 14th. I mean, it's the best. It's fantastic. It's literally the best song I have ever heard in my entire life.
I didn't like it.
I'm in between in that I like elements of it, but also there's some times where I'm just like what is she doing? Like, what is this? I think the auto-tune, yeah, I think like my opinions on the song change with every listen, because sometimes it's like, you know, the first time I was like, oh, I don't know about this. Second time, oh, hey, I'm really digging this. Third time, I don't know, I'm not sure again. It keeps fluctuating. I'm really interested in this album.
I like some of the electronics. Okay, some of the riffs.
It's the auto-tune.
The ditties.
It's the auto-tune.
It's the auto-tune. And it's the spoken word. It's like, what the hell are you doing?
See, let me
honey, what is you doing?
Every time a prominent indie artist starts messing around with auto-tune, the initial reaction is, ugh, I don't like this. It happened with Sufjan. It happened with Vampire Weekend. And you just gotta ease yourself into it and admit that it's good now before, you know, you retroactively look wrong. But from what we've heard, I'm going to make a wager that History's going to be kind of my opinion. Well, from what we've heard, this is the only song on the album that's going to have like the auto-tune prominently featured. And the thing for this song was that, like, you know, this new album is supposed to, like, why this song was released first is that this album is definitely going to be like a new direction and a lot of new styles for Japanese breakfast. But like the way she put it was like the familiar thing to like latch onto is like her voice. That's the only thing that's going to be consistent between Psychopomp and then between the songs, all of the songs on this album. So like I'm definitely into the sound of that.
I just want a album where it's heft 13 times.
I mean, don't we all?
We do. Although
speaking of a new direction, I have a bonus single to talk about. One Direction,
Harry Styles.
We never talked about Sign of the Times. What I've been listening to. I haven't heard any of the other new singles because I heard Sign of the Times and was like,
he's
damn.
on his Still Young bullshit.
Yeah, it's actually really good. I'm not even fucking around. That song is really good.
Oh yeah, hold on. Can I give a mention to a single that I was surprised that I like so much, and I'm gonna get some shit for it, but guys.
Oh, is it the new Paramore?
Well, no, actually, I should mention that too. The two new Paramore singles are fucking incredible, but I'm not ashamed to like those singles. They're fucking great pop songs. What I'm ashamed that I like is the new Charlie Puth single.
Dude, Charlie Puth made "See You Again," which is the best song of all time.
Okay, but like, no bullshit. This new Charlie Puth single.
No
is
bullshit.
Really good.
Have you fucking seen Furious 7?
Actually, I have not seen a single Fast and Furious movie.
Dude, like, even if you just watch the scene at the end of Furious 7 where they use "See You Again" and it's Paul Walker's like final scene, you will have your soul ripped out of your body.
Okay, I trust you on this one. But yeah, he put out a new single. It's called Attention. It's like, it's really groovy. It has this like really nice bass line that really kicks in, and it's just sort of, you know, this sort of like slick, like the recent trend. There's basically been like two trends like coinciding right now in pop music. You have this sort of 80s throwback with these really nice like bass lines and sort of like use of synths, basically like just like 80s sort of like I kind of want to say car pop, as in if you're listening to us in a car, it's really nice. And then you have the more basically the trop pop trend that's been popping up, you know, where artists are sort of pulling from, you know, dance hall, reggaeton, Afrobeat type music, you know, basically, you know, Drake, Ed Sheeran, Wale, as you mentioned, and that there was a beef about that with Fantano. Basically kind of, you know, pulling from that. So these two trends are coinciding. Some are doing it really well. I think this Charlie Puth single is doing that sort of sound really well. There's some who are doing it really bad, like the new Katy Perry single, Chain of the Rhythm, is like so boring and mediocre that I want to shoot myself. And of course, in the trop pop, you have people doing it well. I think Drake does it really well, arguably. Like Passion Fruit's it's a classic. And of course, you have people who are doing it really bad, like Shape of You is like really bad. But I digress. Let's move it forward. But anyways, but yeah, give the Charlie Puth single a listen. You will be surprised at how much you like it. Honestly, it's not that dumb throwback like the dumb like 50s doo-wop throwback bullshit he was doing. It's like, oh hey, Charlie Puth sounds like he's doing something modern, and it's not bad. But speaking of throwbacks, LCD Soundsystem, they are back after you know, a 7-year hiatus and a Christmas single. They are back with 2 new songs before their performance in SNL tonight, because we're recording this on a Saturday. So they have 2 singles, Call the Police and American Dream. And boys, AJ, so I'm gonna let you start. What you think about these new singles?
They're so fucking good. They are so fucking good. It's okay. I still do not believe that this album is happening in any way, shape, or form. I could probably, I've heard both of these songs. I could probably listen to the album and still not believe it was coming out. But these songs are so fucking good. It's absurd. It's like they never went away. Basically, it is the same exact sound.
I mean, they're only away for like 5 years.
I know, which
Less
is
than
strange.
5 years.
That's extremely correct. But the thing is that like it's got the same melancholy like vibe to it that you literally can't explain. It's just LCD Soundsystem, man. It's got that like middle-aged James Murphy vibe going on. I think Call the Police is way better than American Dream, but American Dream has definitely grown on me too. So we'll see. We'll see.
I'm the opposite. I think I like American Dream more than I like Call the Police, because American Dream, it starts off kind of slow, but like once it like in 5 minutes when it has that sort of like when it really ramps up, it's like, oh damn, this is like, oh boy. But yeah, I do like both these singles. I need to give them more listens. So I do feel like, LCD, it's like, okay, I gotta dig into this a bit more. Both of these are long. I gotta figure them out a little bit. It's like, but yeah, it's definitely that feeling of just like, oh my god, this is like the album is happening. All right, it's not this is happening. Like, okay, I'm gonna, that bit was not. I'm gonna kill that bit. Well,
how many
counterpoint?
I think there were like 4 or 5 songs they played at the Brooklyn shows, which means like they could also play new stuff at the.
They're playing these 2 songs tonight.
Tomorrow.
Yesterday. I saw it. They played.
I guess
the
the speculation is pointless because we'll have seen it, but whatever.
Yeah, because it was yesterday.
I think at Pitchfork they'll probably play more than these. I
hope the album was out by then.
Fingers are crossed, yeah, the album will be out like before Pitchfork, because I feel like it'd be done.
Okay, wait. Side note: the last thing I want to say about Japanese Breakfast, the album comes out the Friday of Pitchfork. How fucked up is that?
I knew that was going to happen. I'm like, if they do not release this the weekend of Pitchfork, like our content, it's done. Like we will not have content for Pitchfork.
We can have me and Jeremiah listening to it for the first time together in person.
I mean,
on tape.
We're probably going to have to do like a Big Quint style first reaction video. We kind of have
to. Oh my god, it's just gonna be like us crying though.
That's true, but yeah, I feel like if we did like but yeah, it's gonna come out. We're gonna record you guys' reactions to it because we kind of have to. I'll maybe be included in like a vlog or some sort. Anyways, but yeah, these new LCD songs are pretty good. Will, on the other hand, of course, you have to have
I liked Call the Police. I thought American Dream was kind of They're just it's an okay LCD Soundsystem song.
Oh yeah,
very by the numbers.
Yeah, for some reason I thought you didn't really like it that much. The singles.
I don't love them, but they're perfectly fine LCD Soundsystem songs.
Basically, yeah. Excited for the album. If it happens, they better come out.
I'm pretty sure it's gonna. Did you read the Facebook post he made yesterday?
Yeah, it's almost certainly happening now.
Wait.
Yeah.
I mean, I know the album is happening, but just like if it comes,
he's like I have like two more vocal takes to do. And they'll be done.
Okay, shit.
Yeah. He's like, it's pretty much done.
I hope they pull exactly what Kanye West did for Life of Pablo, where James Murphy will run off stage screaming like, new album in stores on that, yeah, and then the album doesn't come out for like over 24 hours.
Shit. Hold on. Hang on a second. I'm gonna see if real quick. Jeremiah, he's online in our Skype chat. I want to see if Jiro wants to join us for this podcast real quick.
Let's give him a call. Let's do some locker room talk.
All right. Let's do some locker room talk.
Hold on, let me see.
Hey Jeremiah, suck our dicks.
Crossing that one off.
Middle of recording. Sorry, this is very unprofessional to try to see if we can get Jeremiah on here. He might be drunk right now.
He was at a funeral all day, but also shit posting. So
yeah,
he can't be that torn up.
Yeah, he was like, he told me like, yeah, like I'm probably gonna get drunk tonight because he's with his girlfriend right now. Let me see what he says. He's typing.
Sick brag.
Yeah, what a fucking normie.
Let's go on to our let's forget about him like bros before hoes. Okay, let's next topic.
All right, let's get into our oh shit. Okay, never mind. Jeremiah wants in. All right. We're gonna add Jiro. We're gonna swing back to Japanese breakfast real quick with the addition
God
of
fucking
Jeremiah.
damn it.
Hey man,
God fucking damn it.
Hey, I know someone.
This is gonna be like a fucking 2-hour podcast, and I'm talking about the fact it's gonna be a 2-hour podcast.
It's only 54. We're only 54 minutes. Okay, Jeremiah. Hey, Jeremiah.
Now,
Trap is in.
Japanese breakfast.
He's back.
You guys were aware, the Machinist by Japanese Breakfast is the song of the year.
Absolutely.
About when I saw Japanese Breakfast.
Do it to him.
I was like September of last year. He was like, this song is called the Robots Get the Suck song. And I was like, don't do it to me, Michelle. And she played this great song where she danced around in the audience, and it was like a synth pop song, and it was about falling in love with a robot. I was like, oh shit. Then she played it again when I saw her next, and I was like, oh shit. And then she started releasing music video like clips, and I was like, teasers, and I was like, oh shit. Instead of the Robots Get the Suck song. And then it came out, and guess what? Guess what song it was?
The best song ever.
The Robot Get Sucked.
So anyway, so I was watching the song. I was watching the YouTube video, the music video in the car. No, in the bathroom. It came out, right, at like 10:30. I got a text that was like, July 14th. And I was like, what's happening July 14th other than Pitchfork? And it was like LP2. And I was like, fucking cream in my asshole. What the fuck? And then I went and watched the video, and I was like, okay, this is great. Like, this is the Robots Get the Suck song. That was cool. This is poppy. And then, bam, out of nowhere, fucking Midnight City style saxophone.
Oh my god.
Literally slapped the sink next to me, and I like screamed. And my two suite mates were like, Jeremiah, are you okay? And I was like, there's a saxophone! And they were like, great. And then since that time, I've probably listened to the song like 100 times by now. And I can confidently say that it's the song of the year. Because even though like obviously the start, it like has to set up the narrative and shit, like about the robots getting the suck and shit, it's also just like one of the best pop songs I've ever heard. Like her, I mean, we all knew that Michelle was a guitar god, right? Like Michelle's a guitar god. Like this is like everybody knows, right? We also knew that she had a great like ear for melodies, and this song just demonstrates it. Just like, oh my god, and the auto tune and just the pop. Oh my god, I don't even know what she's saying, but I just want to like drown in it, you know. And the sax comes in at the end, and you're just like, yeah, it's like a vat of honey.
God. Okay, is your girlfriend here now? God.
Yeah, I mean,
the bros before hoes.
Actually, I'm not here. He's at here. My locale.
Yeah.
By the way, do we want to introduce this person?
No.
No.
Will says no.
No girls allowed.
All right. So, anyways, the moral of the story is that LP2 is the greatest album of all time. Fucking smacks that. Jesus Christ.
Jeremiah. It has a name now.
What is the name?
It's like
sounds from another planet.
There you go, baby.
Fucking smacks that deluxe vinyl preview.
Hear the fucking Skype notification. Hear the Skype noises.
Alright. Thanks for letting me join the call so I could fucking smack down about Japanese breakfast for 2 minutes.
Smack.
You're welcome, Jeremiah. You're welcome.
Guys. Wait, what else? Oh, wait, before I leave, Perfume Genius, album of the year. Fucking great. How I'm here. How weird. All right, bye guys.
Bye, Jeremiah. Thanks for. I forgot to see. I was waiting for Jeremiah to shut up so I could make a joke that I'm really excited for Songs from the Black Hole too. Because I made that. Because I made that joke because I previewed it in the chat like, hey, if the Robot Suck song comes out tomorrow, like I'm gonna put this on Twitter. And it was I made this image, except, Rivers Cuomo is the guy who's giving Michelle the ball, and the ball is the album cover of Songs from the Black Hole. It's really great, guys. You should go to my Twitter, @MonrovianPrince, to find it.
Look, it's a bad meme, buddy.
But hey, people liked it, and you're mad at me. You're going to beat me up at Pitchfork at it. But I paid you money, so please don't beat me up.
Yeah, I'm keeping the money because of your bad content.
Man, don't do that. Anyways, main topic, spring catch-up. A lot of albums came out in the meantime. We've already talked about a couple of these in the last podcast, but I do want to give them some mentions. Now, there's this other albums that we have not covered that I was like, we need to cover these albums, guys. We got to cover it, and then nothing happened. And that one album I'm talking about is Kendrick Lamar, Damn. We kind of touched on this like very briefly in the news, but Kendrick Lamar he teased us with he had He had the Heart Part 4 was like April 7th. Watch out, bitches. And then nothing.
We got
happened.
an album announcement on April 7th.
Yeah, and we had Humble like a week prior. That was really awesome. And yeah, we got the album on April 14th, and
it's really good.
It is really good. AJ's got some conflicting thoughts, but hey, my opinion is important, so I'm gonna go first on this one. But yeah, this new Kendrick album, it is really interesting because I think going into it, I think most of us were kind of expecting it to be sort of Kendrick Lamar's like his lower stakes album, where it's more of just like him, kind of shit talking rappers and kind of making more of a essentially like a less conceptual Good Kid, Mad City, and I was fine with that. It's sort of trendy, him kind of looking, doing something a little different, or not really different, but sort of going back to kind of older sound, but like a newer take on it. And it was like, okay, cool. But instead, we got Kendrick Lamar, possibly his most introspective album to date, in my opinion, where the entire album is him being pretty much a majority of the album is him being very bitter about his depression and basically lashing out against the world. And that's really fascinating to me.
Which is relatable as hell.
Relatable as hell. Like, essentially, it's a lower stakes album in that Kendrick Lamar, he's not trying to. I mean, like the line on I'm not sure. It might have been Element, where last album I tried to lift the black artists, but there's a difference between black artists and whack artists, and it's like, damn. But I mean, but essentially that's essentially the ethos of this album is that I'm not I tried to help, like I tried to lift you guys up on this last album, and nothing happened because you guys all did this shit instead. So fuck you guys. And also just generally, Kendrick Lamar is in a very he's not in a great headspace on this album. I think the most obvious example is let's see, I want to make sure it's Fear. Yeah, I want to make sure because it's the 5th song on the album, and I want to make sure real quick. Yeah, actually no, Feel. The entire album is the entire song is just constantly ain't nobody praying for me, and it's just like damn, like it's definitely the most bitter that we've seen Kendrick since like you, probably the most bitter and depressed. But instead of being one song, it's an entire fucking album pretty much. But I digress. Will or AJ, who wants to talk?
I guess let William get in there.
Oh yeah, I think it's basically agree with everything that you said. I mean, it's definitely not a classic. It broke up that streak, but ultimately, I think that's actually a good thing because that frees him up to go in a lot of artistic directions that he couldn't go in if he was being constrained to like being conceptual all the time and being expected to drop classic, groundbreaking albums. This album has it's more poppy than the past albums. He embraces a trap sound, and some of that. The way I kind of interpret it is that basically he wanted to do a mainstream sound, but he wanted to do it better than everyone else is doing it, which he basically does. So because there's that implicit rivalry with Drake. And I think the subtext of that is basically just bitter that an artist that he perceives as being lesser, being the most popular rapper in the world, really kind of bothers Kendrick. So that's why he's taking all these shots at Drake, because he thinks that he's the best. I think.
I feel like the Drake shots are not as explicit. I think they're, if anything, like.
That's what I'm saying. They're
Humble is about Big Sean pretty much. Like that's basically been confirmed that it's a diss song against Big Sean.
Really.
I don't think so at all. Not to
well, no, he's talked about that because like Big Sean tried being basically Big Sean for like the past like 4 years has been like, oh yeah, no, I had Kendrick didn't kill me on Control. Like I held my own on Control, even though it's like. No one agrees with you, Big Sean. Like no one.
I think Humble, like every song on this album, is about Kendrick specifically, and it's all about like not to throw in a hot meme here, but the duality of man, right? And I think like there's an interesting thing going on where like he'll do something on one song and then contradict it on the next song, but not in a way where like the subject matter is inconsistent, but in a way where it's like. He can't make up his mind, and he feels like this, this pressure to have to be decided one way or the other when he's really not, because he's just, like a person basically. And it's all about like the weight of these expectations on him and everything, and about how the continued success he's found has affected his psyche as a person, right? And in a way, the album's also about having to follow up to Pimp a Butterfly, which I do find interesting. Mm-hmm. And it's not that I don't dislike this album. I think it's good, very good. I think it's like just as good as Section 80, which is still like, when we're talking about Kendrick's discography, like retrospectively, is not a bad thing at all. It's better than, his worst albums are better than most of any other artist's like greatest album could ever hope to be. And definitely when I listened to this thing for the first time, I was on my Big Quint shit, like hardcore. When I heard Triple X for the first time, I was losing my fucking mind.
Yeah, Triple X is a fucking trip. That song is a fucking like, it's a giant like, what the fuck is happening? I mean, DNA starts off hard, like you're like, oh fuck already, but like XXX is like, it takes some time to settle in, but like once you're like, it's a what the fuck is happening, you're like, okay, what is going on? And then when the sirens come in, it's like yesterday, it's like oh
yeah,
and then when the U2 part comes in, you're like, what the fuck is like, what is he doing? What?
But the thing is that for like as hard as this album goes at times, I don't really come back to anything except the singles or Triple X, and then sometimes Duckworth. I do think Fear is really, really good. It's the storytelling track, which we didn't necessarily get, like the focused storytelling track on To Pimp a Butterfly, sort of like Sing About Me. But the whole album was basically like that, so it wasn't worth complaining. And it's not like Fear is anywhere near as good as Sing About Me, but I do think Duckworth's a really good song. Other than that, it's all a little too poppy, if that makes sense. Like,
yeah, I can. Yeah, there's some. I mean,
Kendrick sings too much on this album, which is a problem for me.
Well, yeah, he does. He does sing a bit more on this album. I mean, I think the most obvious examples of like, oh, he's really trying to make a mainstream song, or like Loyalty and Love. Like those are the two most like explicit. Oh yeah, God too. Yeah, those are the three most explicit examples of like, oh, I want to like, I'm making radio songs. But yeah, but doing it in a very interesting way, pretty much. That's like, oh, he's doing it really good. But at the same time,
like I said,
but at the same time, at first, it's like a weird, like, unnatural thing because again, we haven't really heard Kendrick be like explicitly mainstream since like Good Kid, Mad City, pretty much. So it's been like 5 years since he's made like solo, like basically explicitly solo mainstream songs. But
yeah,
I'll let you continue.
No, that was basically all I wanted to say. It's just sort of like, it's not necessarily low stakes or inconsequential, but I think Untitled Unmastered is better. And that's kind of strange. I think this album was hurt. It's nothing against this album, but the whole double album conspiracy certainly, I think, puts like a negative damper over the album, where it's like we got built up so much by all of those pretty credible fan theories where it was like, damn, this is, oh shit. I said damn, which is the name of the album. It's like, man, this could be cool. We're going to get another Kendrick Lamar album like The Red and the Blue. Maybe it's going to reveal some of like the reasons why this album maybe feels thematically weaker than the other ones. If it's a double album, like, holy shit, Kendrick's on some next level stuff. And then it was like, no, there's no second album. And you can definitely tell that it hurt some people's perceptions of this album because Kendrick had to come out himself and be like, guys, it's just this one. Please just listen to this one album. But like, that's the thing with Kendrick Lamar. Like, one good album straight up like isn't enough. We expect so much out of him when, like, realistically we shouldn't. It's a really good album and we should be thankful we have it. And it's going to be on my favorites of the year list for sure. It's not like I dislike it at all. It's just I'm not even let down. It's just it pleasantly met my lofty expectations.
But that's why I think it's a good thing though, like that this album isn't super thematic. Like it's not groundbreaking because that sets new expectations, and now he can do more things. Like, he doesn't have to change lives with every album now.
I mean, he's released 3 projects for the past 3 years, so that's pretty good.
I mean, like you're saying, like, now he doesn't have to release Pimp a Butterfly every time, which I'm okay with.
Yeah, sure. He never had to, though. I think, like, after Good Kid, Mad City. Like, if this had come right after Good Kid, Mad City, what do you think the kind of reaction would be?
I think, yeah, I feel like it'd be criticized a bit more, but I will say, with the double album thing, I never believed that shit in the first place. I thought it'd be cool if it happened, but I never fully dove into that theory.
It is all reaching, like all the theories I saw.
Yeah, I was just like, this seems reaching.
When I realized he was playing Coachella on Easter Sunday, it was a bit like, that kind of makes sense, you know what I mean?
They do something crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, Kung Fu Kenny coming in with a Bicycle
That
Kick.
is one. Oh, okay. Let's do a power ranking right now. What's better, Cornrow Kenny or Kung Fu Kenny?
Oh, Cornrow Kenny.
Yeah,
He was
I
born with
gotta say Cornrow Kenny.
I think I like Kung Fu Kenny better, but his Untitled 02 verse when he says Cornrow Kenny was a born with a vision. That's his like best verse ever.
Yeah, I say Cornrow Kenny flows a lot better, and he made it flow a lot better in the songs. But yeah, damn, there's a lot of really interesting because it's not as conceptual as Good Kid, Mad City or to Pimp a Butterfly, but it's still conceptual. Like you have the obviously Blood is like it tells this like really interesting story that kind of pays off at the end of Duckworth. That's like really like oh shit, like it's basically essentially Duckworth is like, hey, what if I made like how much $1 costs? What if I made that like the outro of my album? That's what Duckworth is, pretty much. It has that twist. You're like, oh, what? That's what? Crazy. But we have not mentioned the song, and we gotta mention it now. Goddamn DNA.
That's my song of the year.
What? Okay.
That's the banger of the lifetime.
DNA. Oh God. Like, I fucking almost fell out of my goddamn. I don't know. I don't remember where. Oh yeah, I was like I almost fell out of my goddamn bed when the beat drop came in. Like, what the fuck? Like, it starts off hard already. It has like like he's just going in and that Mike Will Bandit beat just works so goddamn well. And then then like halfway through the song, these Fox News clips come in, and you're like
4,
and this song,
3, 2.
And you have that Rick James sample, give me the ganja, and you're like, and Kendrick is going the fuck in, and you're like, what is happening? What?
I think the second half of DNA is probably my favorite Kendrick has ever rapped, where he's just like going the fuck in. That is so nuts.
It is a top 3 moment of like any Kendrick Lamar album. It is like, what the fuck is happening? Like,
yeah.
Just being,
that's
the first song, pretty much. That's the first song, and it's like,
I love Big Punc's reaction, but not his first reaction, but the one he put like of him like on Periscope listening to the third time. It's like, I'm listening to this shit for the third time. I can't make it past this track.
That was me too. I ran it back immediately.
Run that shit back.
He broke his goddamn chair again. He broke his goddamn chair.
The line I love the most is like whatever he says, like marble floors, Godfather doors. It's like, holy, he literally cannot be stopped. It's absurd.
Ugh.
Kendrick can't lose. Even when he loses, like he did with this album, he still wins.
God.
Yeah.
Oh, yoga. Oh God, yeah. Just the bar. Here's the thing with Kendrick. I don't even know like what he's. So I mean, the first time I can't pick apart like every single bar he's saying, but I just know he's going the fuck in, and it's like he is on some next level shit. Like even in like basically a contemporary rap like trap banger, he's still doing shit that's like, what the fuck are you guys doing?
That's what I'm saying though. Like that's what I was saying earlier. Like he's doing what everyone else is doing. He's jumping on mainstream shit, but doing it better than everyone else is.
Mm-hmm. And also, yeah, I gotta give some more shouts to some of these tracks. Pride is really well produced. I love that song. Shouts out to Steve Lacy on the production. God damn, that song is like the way it sways and the sort of the twist, I guess. Where maybe I wasn't there. It's like, damn, that just hits really hard for me. And then obviously, as I mentioned, "Feel" is probably my favorite song on the album. And then "Element," gotta give a shout to my boy James Blake on partially on the production for that track. You may not hear it at first, but when you hear those vocal samples, like the, you're like, oh, that's James Blake. I know that's a James Blake staple. But yeah, there's some songs here that are really good. Of course, "Lust" is also really good and like really haunting, despite the fact that it's a song basically just like, baby, man, baby, let me put the head in. That's all I want, baby. Just like, let me put the head in. That's it. He somehow makes it like a really haunting rap track. It's like, what the fuck is he on? Like, Jesus Christ. But yeah, Damn is I think Damn is a great album. I do think, I think I like it more than you guys do. Like, I do think it's like, it's not on the level of To Pimp a Butterfly. I think it's just more of
no doy.
I think as time goes on, people are going to be. I mean, I think like the early reaction is just like you're comparing it to his early stuff or to his last work. But I do think over time the reaction is going to be a much more positive when people sort of realize like what the album is and what its place is within the discography. I do think in retrospect people are going to like it a bit more.
I disagree because I've already forgotten almost all of it. Like aside from the songs I pointed out, like I don't really care about any of it at this point anymore. Which is, I don't know.
It's a shame.
We'll see what happens.
I think just like give it some time, revisit it. I think you'll like it more once you kind of once the album is, it's more explicitly like, oh, this is what the album is. But yeah, hey, Will, you little bitch, you removed this on the schedule. I hate you. I wanted to talk about that real quick. Does anyone have any final thoughts on Damn? Will, do you have any final thoughts?
No.
All right, next album. I'm gonna give this one a quick mention because Will removed it on the schedule, and I'm upset. Blue Iverson, Hotep. This is a new project from Dean Blunt. It's really good, really nice. Sort of if you like the Salon John from last year, I think you'll probably dig this project. Just really nice instrumentals. Definitely really interesting. But also, fuck you, Pitchfork. Yes, you did give it a 7.5 and a good review, but also you had to slander his early work, and I dislike that. So don't do that. It's not that hard to hire someone who like understands Dean Blunt's work and doesn't have to diss him and be like, oh, is he such a prankster in his music? It's so hard to permeate. It's like, no, it's not that hard to fucking permeate. Just give it like 2 listens and you'll kind of figure out what the fuck is going on. Like, Jesus Christ. Do some research.
Maddie is begging for a job from Pitchfork.
Yes, I am.
Right now as their Dean Blunt specialist.
Pretty much.
Oh, speaking of, can we quick throw a hot shout out to the History of Emo video on Pitchfork, which very well could be the worst thing Pitchfork has ever done.
I haven't watched it. I like the goth video they did. That's like the same style.
It's the exact same thing, just like plug in email information.
All right.
It's like, why did they make that though? Because they so clearly.
The last one won a Webby, dude. The last one won a Webby. They're gonna keep doing that.
No. The goth one was good, but the emo one is like making fun of emo as a genre, like while trying to give history as like.
Well, the problem is that they don't have no credibility because they've never given an emo album be best new music.
But like the video's so bad, it's like it is making fun of the genre. It is, purporting to be giving a history of, and it's like, why fucking make this then? It's very clear that you don't like it. It's very clear that you have a contempt for this genre. No one asked you to make this fucking video. Like the people, the true heads. We know the facts. We don't need you to stand up there and tell us the facts about emo music. We don't need you to pretend.
We know Rites of Spring. We know the Get Up Kids.
Yeah, we know it. And how are you going to make that kind of video without referencing Brand New once? Come on now.
Well, they do, but they reference.
But like that's what I'm saying. They're like, oh, you didn't mention Brand. It's garbage. The video is garbage.
Then the very end, they're like, and there's emo revival, but honestly, only nerds on Twitter hear about it.
I was stanced the fuck up.
I kind of like that joke. Anyways, look at next album, Gorillaz. They're finally back, 7 years, new album called Humans, and the reaction has been very middling. You have to go there like, hey.
It turns out
really
Damon
like
Albarn is merely a human.
And
he was not a gorilla after all.
And yeah, before I give my thoughts, I should probably give the thoughts of Lily, which. I'm trying to figure out how to approach this on the podcast. Don't. I mean, she talked about it publicly. I think it's safe. So, Stefan recently came out as trans, now known as Lily. So, just shouts out to Lily. She'll be at Pitchfork with us, which I'm really excited about. Pretty much like meeting everyone again. Like, I'm excited to see everyone again. I'm excited to see AJ and Jeremiah scream to Bruce Springsteen. I'm excited to get beat up. Yes. I'm going to kick you square in the nuts. All right, if you try to touch me.
We're going all out this year. I'm planning mimosas every day. Like we're getting blasted, my boys.
True.
We're gonna cut that part out.
No, I mean no.
Well, my mom said I can't drink.
Okay. Anyways, Gorillaz' new album, Humans. Oh yeah, the comment that Lily made that I posted on the roast thread. In retrospect, that she posted in the chat, and then Zach posted on Twitter, and then I posted on Reddit. Anyways, in retrospect, it's very interesting how each Gorillaz album is a reflection of its time. Gorillaz was this pre-9/11 hypercolor mishmash of novel ideas without a real core identity. Demon Days captured the paranoia and gloominess of the war on terror. Plastic Beach was this escapist jumble of recycled/synthetic sounds, and Humans is a reflection of the Trump era in that it's bad. But I have to disagree. I think there's some songs in here that suck.
What?
But I didn't mind it. I listened to it today. I was like, there's some really good songs in here. There's also some bad songs, but the overall experience was, this is kind of okay. I don't mind this. Although there's
this
definitely
album's a fucking mess, my dude.
It's a mess, but not. It's a mess, but not in the worst way.
It's a mess in a very bad way.
It's an interesting.
Yeah, once you hit the Grace Jones song, straight up turn the album off. It is all downhill from there, and like that's a quarter of the way through, and like, oh boy, this album runs out of ideas fast, like so fast.
Yeah, I will say, I do like the first half is better than the second half. I'm
not talking the first half. I'm literally talking the first, I guess, third. But
how many songs? But okay, devil's advocate. How many songs is that?
No, well, if we're not
8 out of 26.
Well, that's the deluxe version. The album ends on is supposed to end on We Got the Power.
Spotify only has the deluxe version.
Okay,
so
never
that's
mind.
what I'm throwing off. You bitch.
Fine, 1/3. I will say, yeah, it sounds good, but I still like some songs in the second half. Or yeah,
okay, hold on. Would you rather the album end on the Jenny Beth song? Because that's straight up one of the worst songs I've ever heard in my life.
No, that song sucks. That song is horrible.
What if this album didn't exist at all?
And I hate that's basically that's what's going to be a lot of people's introduction to Jenny Beth, because it's like she is way better than the song. Savages is goddamn amazing. Go listen to Savages, by the way, guys, if you haven't already. Really great post punk. Like even Wilferthrow likes it. And he hates the post punk revival
because they're not post punk. They're goth.
True, but yeah, I kind of like Sex Murder Party. Actually, Halloween Money sucks too.
That's my favorite cover of Murder Mystery by the Velvet Underground.
That's a great song. It's a great
song.
Yeah,
the Gorillaz are literally the new Velvet Underground.
I like Bustin' in Blue a lot. I think it's a really good track.
I like Bustin' in a Nut a lot.
This album left zero impression on me. It was on.
Yeah, exactly.
I did not listen to this album. I heard this album.
My first impression of this album was right around Saturn's Bars. I was like, hey, it's not bad. I'm shocked. And then a few songs later, I was like, this thing is not over yet? And then it was like, this has to end now. And then I realized I was halfway through the album. So it's a mess. It's a goddamn overbloated mess.
Yeah, I didn't listen to the bonus tracks. I skipped those. I'm like,
but the Sex Murder Party is one of the bonus tracks.
No, it isn't. No, it's on the album. Is it? Yeah, the album ends on We Got the Power, and Sex Murder Party is like track 16. The album ends on track 20.
I really wouldn't. Like I said, I heard the album.
Yeah, I'll give it. I'll maybe give it another spin, but like.
Well, like I
like Andromeda. Andromeda's a good song.
The worst part of this album is how little Damon Albarn's on it.
Yeah, that's definitely the worst part. I think because it's like I want to hear. I want to hear his voice, and there's some times where it's just like he's just barely on these songs, and it's like I understand that Gorillaz has always been a band about collaboration, but yeah, this is the album where his influence on it feels like the most minimal.
It's I'm hip to the kids.
I mean, literally, because he literally got people on the album because his kids like he got Danny Brown on the album because his kids like Danny Brown. Which can we talk? Can we talk about how disappointing that feature is? That feature is really disappointing.
It is really bad.
Though, that was the best feature on the album.
Oh yeah, the Chloe's fucking amazing on it. Like that was like her part's amazing.
That's my favorite feature.
But then Danny comes in.
Vince Staples is good too.
I'm still kind of mixed on that song. There's parts of it I like, but like Vince has always been a very kind of hit or miss person to me, and he kind of barely misses the mark on that song. But anyways, back to the Danny Brown verse. Okay, maybe it's just me, but it feels like Danny Brown, like his flow is just not quite there on that song. The thing with Danny Brown that I always appreciate is that he is able to flow like over literally everything. He was on a fucking ICP song and he made that shit sound good. Like, the man it should be completely untouchable, but for some reason... So
basically you're saying is that this Gorillaz song is worse than Insane Clown Posse.
Yes. Well, no, because he had the club
You're
part.
the one who came out and said you liked this album.
Okay, yeah, but I still have my issues with it. I don't... Just because I say I like it doesn't mean that I... But here's the thing. I think it's okay. You guys hate it, but I think it's just okay.
It's terrible.
Okay, here's the thing.
It's a goddamn mess.
The thing with Danny Brown is that his verse sounds weird because it seems like his flow is like there's a slight delay between the beat and the flow. It seems like Damon Albarn, like in between like the recording of Danny Brown's verse and then like finishing the song, he might like add new things that causes Danny Brown's verse to be like feel like it's just slightly mistimed, which is like you don't do that to Danny Brown. All right, this is the man who made "Ain't It Funny." Okay, you can't do this to Danny Brown. But he did it to Danny Brown anyways.
Put some respect on his name.
Put some respect on his name. Exactly. All right, Damon Albarn, retire, bitch. Okay, you don't ruin a Danny Brown.
But actually, he's getting on up there.
He is.
Yeah, he made a fucking Blur album that was better than this piece of shit.
But I mean, okay, I will say I do like Andromeda. I like that track. I think it's a really nice kind of like dance track. Although I kind of wish
the Vince Staples song is still the best. TBH.
I gotta say, up until like Danny Brown's verse, the Club song is the best. And also, I don't like Sirens Bars that much. I don't really care for Popcon. He was great on that Young Thug song, but I don't know, it just didn't really feel right. I like the Strobe Like song, if I remember it correctly. I dug that. But yeah, the song it's a mess. It's a mess. I say give it a listen if you give it a listen. But you can kind of pick the tracks you like and just kind of make a playlist out of them and, move on. Because the album doesn't really have like a... Because it has all these fucking interludes, these just essentially goddamn useless interludes that serve no goddamn purpose whatsoever, but to be track fillers pretty much. And, but yeah, it's a mess. I think it's okay overall, but yeah, there's some songs in here that are just like fucking like abysmal. So, that's all I gotta say. I think we're ready to move on to the next album. These two, I want to give some. Let's see. Do we might tackle these a bit more in depth on the next episode because they just came out like yesterday. But we can touch on them real quick because I know people probably want us to mention Mac DeMarco, his new album, This Old Dog. Will, I think I'm gonna let Will take this one real quick.
So going back to 2014, Salad Days is one of my favorite albums that year. It's classic. It's a great album, I thought. It's definitely the best thing he'll ever do. So I was really excited for another one in 2015, and that was a huge letdown. Just very bland, sleepy, uninspired. So I was kind of out on Mac DeMarco. I listened to this album yesterday, and I think it simultaneously confirms all my worst suspicions about Mac DeMarco, while also being returned to form. It's basically... Yeah, go ahead.
I heard a lot of stuff about this album, like, oh, it's a more nuanced Mac DeMarco. It's a new Mac DeMarco. And as someone who's always liked Mac DeMarco's music and was able to kind of, like, I know a lot of people just automatically discredit him because he's like, oh, Mac DeMarco's wacky. And it's like, whatever. DeMarco. Yeah, he still makes, like, good, pretty emotional music, in my opinion. And all of the takes surrounding this album, like, pre-release were like, oh, it's more like grounded and nuanced. And I listened to it once, and I was like, no, it was pretty much a Mac DeMarco album, which I like, obviously.
I kind of have to. I have to slightly disagree with that one. I do think this is like a much more mature Mac. It's not as playful as his previous albums, but I think it's a much more mature and sort of introspective Mac. I mean, he's always been kind of introspective, but I do think that the songwriting here is much more grounded. I do think I gotta say that more. It's essentially like it's like a. It's kind of a folk album at times, but not explicitly folk, but like more folk in mood but not in style, if that makes any sense.
I heard some shit that Moonlight on the River was his best song ever by far. No, and that's a goddamn lie. Have y'all heard Chamber of Reflection?
Yeah,
have you heard it?
Yeah, Josiah was throwing around that take that it's like the best song he's ever made, and I'm like,
that is fake news.
That's not even where I heard it. I heard music critics saying that shit, and it was like, nah, B.
No, well, actually, my favorite Mac DeMarco song is actually "Brother." I think "Brother" is the best song.
Yeah, that one's great too.
Dude, shouts out! Yeah, that's probably one of my. Also, the first three songs of Salad Days are just.
Guys,
they're blasted.
It's Chamber of Reflection.
Yeah, Chamber of Reflection was my song of the year. At least at the time, it was my song of the year, 2014.
Any song you pick on Salad Days is correct because that album is Mac's masterpiece. It's so good.
I downloaded a leak of Salad Days before it came out, and it had
there's a track missing.
Yeah, a track was missing, and it had Chamber of Reflection as the closer, and then the actual release disappointed me because it's like you can't come after Chamber of Reflection, my dude.
Yeah, that was definitely that's probably the worst aspect. But anyways, well, you continue.
So yeah, it's kind of folksier. People are comparing it to James Taylor. I think he did an interview yesterday and cited James Taylor, which I think is why people are making that comparison. But I can hear it nonetheless. He kind of abandons jangle pop and goes for more folky instrumentation a lot of here on the album. But he also incorporates a little bit of electronics, drum machines, and synthesizers. On the Level, it's probably his most synth-heavy song yet.
On the Level is really good.
Yeah, great.
It's a really good song. No, my favorite songs are probably. Let me look at the track just real quick. My Old Man. That's a fantastic opener, I think.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And also, what's the third song on there?
Baby You're Out. That's also a really good one.
Baby You're Out. I love that song. So yeah, basically, it's definitely not inspired. I wouldn't call it inspired or exciting, but it's much better songwriting than another one. Or another way I put it is that if I had to give it a numerical score, it'd probably be a 6 out of 10. But it's the 6 out of 10 I'll listen to more than any other this year.
Yeah,
I might go higher than that. I don't know. I'm not ready to give it.
I'd go higher. I will say I've only listened to this once because the goddamn Perfume Genius came out, and I've been listening to that nonstop since it came out yesterday.
I've listened to this thrice, and I like it.
But yeah, it definitely seems like a more moody, introspective act. Also, One More Love Song is a great song.
Yeah, no, I like the entire first side. I like the first side better, I think, because it's more poppy and upbeat. And the last, Moonlight, has songs like Moonlight on the River, which are just kind of a little bit drawn out.
Mm-hmm. No, but yeah. Actually, since I already mentioned it, let's talk about the goddamn Perfume Genius album, No Shape. First album since Too Bright back in 2014. God damn. Okay, Jeremiah, I know Jeremiah was talking about this is album of the year, but I don't know if it's album of the year, but it's definitely top 3. It's top 3 for me. It's so goddamn good. It's So when Slip Away came out, I fucking love that track. I love the explosion of sound going into essentially I guess the hook or the second verse, and it's God, it's so good. And Go Ahead came out, and I'm like, oh, this is gonna be weird. Okay, this is kind of weird, but maybe it'll sound better in the context of the album, and it does. But, okay, the biggest surprise about this album that was not on any press release, no interviews, was not even mentioned. Sides, track 10. So I thought I heard Ways Blood, because I know Jeremiah mentioned that there's a Ways Blood feature on here, and I thought I heard Ways Blood on, I think either on Wreath or Just Like Love. I thought I heard, actually no, it might have been Choir. Anyways, I thought I heard Ways Blood, but it wasn't actually Ways Blood. But when Ways Blood actually comes in on Sides, I was in my car. I made sure I was this. My first listen is going to be on the drive to work because I'm going to get in a fucking car crash listening to this album. And goddamn Sides come in, and then the first verse, Perfume Genius, Mike Hadrius sounding beautiful as ever. Goddamn, that dude has a great voice. It's such a unique sort of haunting voice, but it's so goddamn so beautiful. And then fucking Ways Blood, Natalie Marion comes in, and I'm like, bitch, you can't. Mike Hadrius, now you can't do this to me, okay? You can't just collab on a song and not tell me about it. You can't do this to me. You're gonna break me, all right? If she brings out Perfume Genius at Pitchfork, I'm gonna throw a fucking fit, all right? I'm gonna have a heart attack right then and there, all right? I need you guys to carry me out on a goddamn stretcher because that's it. There's no other purpose to life, all right? I saw them, my holy mother and my holy father on the stage together. Doing a collab, it's over. It's it. It's done. It's a great song. And the rest of the album's pretty great, too. There's some really great cuts in here. Die For You is Sorry.
I posted a meme on Twitter of, I think it's Go Ahead, where at the end it sounds like he's yodeling. And this album's off the fucking wall, my dude. This album is so fucking nuts in the best way possible. It's also super confrontational and queer as shit, and I'm straight up here for it. He's like, my dude, I am gay as fuck, and you're gonna live with it. And I'm sitting here absorbing this album into my body, going yes, I am. Yes, I fucking am.
God, it's so good. And God, I didn't mention. I was gonna mention "Die for You," which is just a fucking R&B jam, pretty much. Just holy shit. Wait, is it "Die for You"? Yeah, it's Die For You. Die For You, whenever like it kicks in like 2 minutes in, with it just like this really sexy R&B dive, it's like, oh, it's so good. It basically puts like any person who's making like shitty alt R&B to like absolute shame. Like Black Bear, blackball yourself from the goddamn industry, you piece of shit. Listen to this.
I like Run Me Through because it sounds like the theme song from some 70s or 80s cop show.
Oh yeah, I can hear that.
Yeah.
I hear the little, it sounds like a little twin. Like someone told me that, like, I'm not sure, someone in the Indie DM, they can probably clarify if they listen to the podcast. Like, someone told me that was like really reminiscent of like the Twin Peaks theme song Sides, but I also hear that in Run Me Through a little bit. So, but yeah, goddamn, it sounds good.
I listened to it once, and this is actually my first time listening to a full Perfume Genius project, and not for me.
I can see that. It's definitely like, he has a very unique style that's not really for everybody. I don't mean to say
his flavor of art pop isn't quite for me, but shouts out to him doing his damn thing.
He keeps getting like, the most interesting thing is that like, oh, we're seeing someone like literally get better and better with each album. Like the more resources he has to his availability, he makes better music. Like, you
love to see it.
Like the first 2 albums are basically sort of like more like piano ballads pretty much, because like he was broke and like
piano.
Broke and like recovering from drug addiction pretty much. And then on Too Bright he starts playing with synths a little bit more. He's making like these really great like experimental pop songs. Like Queen is like, oh boy, and Grit is like, holy shit. And then the more like really like experimental like moody tracks like I'm a Mother or hold on, there's a song on there I really fucking love that not enough people talk about. My Body is fucking amazing. But this new album, it's better than Too Bright. It's so goddamn good because the instrumentation here is much more expansive. There's a lot more string work. The explosions in sound on Slip Away and on Other Side, goddamn. The explosion in sound on Other Side, like fucking like, I was like, what the, like I almost got in a car crash because like it fucking was like, what the fuck? I was not expecting that, because it starts with this like really nice kind of sparse piano ballad. They're like, oh, I'm in for something really emotional, and then that boom comes in. You're like, whoa, Mike Hadrius, you can't do this to me, okay? You can't fuck me up like this, man. But I really love this album. I'm really loving this album. It's like, it's pretty much it's the new album that I've gravitated to the most this week. But yeah.
Yeah, shout out to the Slow Dive album, which I haven't listened to yet. I'm seeing them with Japanese Breakfast on Tuesday.
Yeah, I'm going to give that a listen. By the way, another shout out. Hoops Routines, by the time this podcast goes up, they're doing a Reddit AMA on May 9th, which I helped set up. So, hey, come out and participate in that whenever that comes through. Their new album Routines is some really good, like, lo-fi indie rock, indie pop from straight out of Indiana. So, hey, shouts out. Will, you want to give any shouts out to any albums that we haven't really?
I like the White Reaper album from a month ago was pretty good, and I like the new Afghan Wigs, and the new At the Drive-In was pretty good.
Oh yeah, Jackson's been hyping up. He's been hyping up Afghan Wigs, so
it's pretty good.
I'll give that a listen probably.
It's pretty good.
So yeah,
I need to check out their older albums. They're a little bit ahead of before my time.
Mm-hmm.
So I need to go back and check out their older works.
Yeah. Also, there's I've not listened to the Power Bottom album. It's out on NPR First Listen. I still got to listen to that. I'm really excited about that.
Yeah, they seem to be the trendiest band this year. Like the one that's picked up the most.
Yeah, they blew the fuck up, honestly.
Because they signed, I think
even my brother.
They signed a polyvinyl, which I think is like a big thing. That's why they're getting.
I saw a girl in my local McDonald's with a Power Bottom sweatshirt on not 2 hours ago.
Ooh. And then
you should have invited her to come on the cast.
Yeah, I was gonna be like, hey, nice sweatshirt. I'm about to record a new episode of the hit Indieheads podcast. You're familiar with that, right? And but then I decided that maybe that wouldn't be the right thing to do.
Boy,
was she cute?
Boy,
yeah, she was pretty banging. I'm probably gonna go after we're done with this. I'm probably gonna go sit in McDonald's and wait for her to come back. I'm definitely head over heels in love with her.
Oh boy, AJ, he's gone full Moon Safari on us. That's an old reference.
That is true.
Oh, and also,
remember that.
this one isn't out yet. But the new Sandy Alex album comes out in 2 weeks, and I'm really interested to hear it because all these singles are like, they sound so different from one another. Because you have Witch, which is like this really like sort of haunting like art pop track, and then you have Proud, which is like this really like sort of like 70s singer-songwriter like Americana-esque song that's really interesting. And then Bobby, which is basically like this sort of alt-country track. And then, actually no, Proud is the more alt-country song, and then Bobby is like the more like folksy, like harmonica shit, like Neil Young shit. And then Sports Star is like a Frank Ocean song basically. And like Brick is apparently like a fucking Death Grip song. So I don't know what this album's going to sound like. I'm really interested. These singles are all pretty good. So, yeah. I'm going to shout an album that's not even out yet. Listen to it when it comes out, bitch. But, yeah, I think that's all I got to say. So I hope you guys enjoyed this podcast. We'll hopefully get back to a more regular schedule once we're all done with school and graduation and all that bullshit. So hope you guys give you guys some nice regular content over the summer, and also we'll be at Pitchfork in like 2 months, which I'm amped about. So yeah, that's all. I think that's all. That's about it, folks. So we will see you guys next time. Peace.
See ya.